Mater is the ultimate cuteness. Alright, so we're bobbing our way over to the dealership. I'm going to rudely cut across these fields that I don't own.
Yellow Evelyn, not who's the help you caught.
Evelyn, you let Pants help you.
She can't cut the knife.
Yes, she can. It's not even a sharp knife. It's like a butter knife. What?
It's a butter knife.
Oh, man. You hear Goosey being sick. Twirly poo. Alright, let's drop this off here. And we're going to sell it. Whee! Oh, I'm sorry, bonk. And then P mods. This is actually really not a mod. It's a, well, it is a mod, but it's from 11,000. That's not so bad. So I lost about $3,000, but really, that's not too bad. It's a match set now, and it requires much less horsepower to run, 70 and I think 120 or something. This tractor has barely enough. It still is going to be a slow startup, but once we get rolling, we should be fine. But you can see how much narrower this mower is. It's a little bit better for the smaller tractor. And that way the JCB doesn't have to roll. I don't have to keep bringing the JCB up and down and up and down and up and down. Yep and down like a game that you play. One of the things I liked about the IT runner, and hopefully we'll be able to get one shortly, is that it is a lot easier to use with the with my little harvester. The IT runner is good because it can drop the grain cart off or the skip loader onto the ground, and then it's much easier for it to get over the top of that skip loader, or even the what's the other one? It actually has a regular grain trailer too that you can use. So we may mow all of this. I don't know. We'll see how many bales we get out of our yard, and if I need to expand, we will. But I'm hoping if we can make like 8 a day, that should be more than enough. We'll definitely be outpacing what we're using daily. Until we start getting more cows, then we need to start thinking about growing. But I think we'll kind of probably keep it at this many cows. I don't want it to be like too much of a burden. But if they're making a couple $1,000s a day, hey, hey, hey. All right, so yeah, he's still struggling. But it's not too bad. Make more grass faster. With New Holland. And Coon. This episode of Farm Sim is brought to you by sponsorship here. At this time, we'd like to thank... I'm practicing for when my channel gets big enough that I get corporate sponsors. This edition of Farm Simulator is brought to you by the Ohio Farm Bureau. Serving the country for 20 years. Sodexo. Lunesta. These stupid medicine companies. But if they pay the bills... Oh yeah, these guys are really bogging out on the hills. Hey. Oh, but it was so nice having that breeze.
It's not even raining.
Oh, it's not raining anymore?
Yes.
Oh, good.
That means the black shoes.
a raccoon attack. An attack-coon. Alright, so I am going to continue mowing and sowing. I shall catch up with you in a bit. Alright, Sir Guinevere is done up here in his JCB. So we're going to run him back to... We is going to run him back to the garage. And put our stuffs away. JCB does a great job planting these hard hill fields. It's just enough overpowered for the seeder that it keeps it moving at a decent pace, even when going uphill. So we'll put this guy away, and we will be back to our mowing. So far it's going pretty good. Like I said, I'm interested to see how much grass that field will produce. I'm mowing the whole field pretty much, so it's not just the field that I bought, but the area around it. To see if I can keep my mowing just to that section so I don't have to like mow every inch of grass on all these different fields. I think we'll have plenty. Alright, there we go. Let me clean this guy off. He's pretty messy. All that seeding. Good. And I'm enjoying the salad that Evelyn made me. It's got carrots and broccoli and celery and onions and green peppers and tomato and the cauliflower. I mean, it's got everything. Some cheese. Very good. She did a great job. Hand chopped by Evelyn and Violet. They both chopped. This salad was brought to you by the United Dairy Council of Ohio. Alright guys, so I will see you in a couple minutes. I'm going to keep mowing and then we'll pick up in a little bit and see how things are going. I might even do some lumber later on today. Try to save up some money. I definitely want to buy a New Holland T7 270 and I want to get an IT runner for the farm. So, alright guys, see you in a couple minutes. I thought it was kind of funny. My wife found a website through Facebook that tells you what song was #1 on the date that you were born, on the day you were born, and the date. So, like, the actual day. And my song was Rhinestone Cowboy. Like a rhinestone cowboy. I thought that was really funny. I was like, oh, what a turd of a song. Like, it could have been something cool like the Beatles, or I guess Pink Floyd never really had #1s back in the 70s, but how about some kind of Wonderful or something by Creedence Clearwater or something cool, you know? Frickin' Rhinestone Cowboy. I forget what her song was, but I remember it being cool. I was like, oh, that's neat, you know? And my song was frickin' Rhinestone Cowboy. I mean, if it was going to be that kind of music, at least be like Neil Diamond or something, you know? Or Kenny Rogers. Nope. Rhinestone Cowboy. Alright guys, see you in a minute. You want to keep mowing? Mowing and mowing and mowing. Alright, so we're almost finished mowing. You know, my objective for the day today, on day 4 here, is to get enough income together doing logging that we can buy a larger tractor for this part of the farm. I like this tractor, but it just really struggles going uphill with these mowers, and it would be nice to be able to have just probably a good 60-70 more horsepower. So I really do want to move up to a New Holland T7 series. I don't know if I'll be able to afford the 270 because it is close to $300,000, but you can see here I'm just immediately when I start going uphill, the tractor just drops off speed and it gets slower and slower. Okay, faster and faster. But it's really struggling on this hill, and it is the 4-cylinder model. Once again, I think even the 6-cylinder would have trouble though. When I pop these on the JCB really doesn't have any issues because it has 230 horsepower. So these guys with the 160, it's a much lower horsepower rating, obviously, and it struggles. It makes it a lot harder to steer, makes it a lot harder to mow. So we're just going to get the bigger New Holland. We'll trade this guy in, and I probably honestly will trade the T5 95 in. If we need a small tractor later down the road, I'll pick up a T5 115, but I don't think we will. I really, obviously these farms, when you're not doing multiplayer, you really only need 2 tractors, sometimes 3. I mean, as the farm grows and you get more and more quote-unquote field space, then you start needing more tractors, because what happens is you need to leave them in different places. So you have one tractor for this area, one tractor for that area. But right now, we've got pretty much everything we need for both the upper farm and the lower farm. And, really the duties that the JCB carries up top is really just seeding, delivering grain, and fertilizing. And then, down here, this guy's functions are to mow and to wrap and to run the baler. And it doesn't make sense to have 3 tractors when I only really need 2. So, but financially at this point, I want to be able to get more than, even if I trade both of these tractors in, I won't be able to get a T7, a high enough horsepower model to make it worthwhile. It's about $200,000 to pick up the 230 horsepower model, or 220 horsepower model. So I think that it's really probably best just to wait until I grab a couple logs, get myself up to $100,000 some dollars, and then I can trade these guys in, and I'll have enough money to get one of the bigger T7 models. I don't really have to have necessarily the 270 horsepower motor, but as long as it's like 230, 220, somewhere around there, should be enough to do all I need it to do down here. And really, at that point, I think we've got enough horsepower to do all the functions that we need taken care of. So I don't really need a bigger tractor than that. But I want to have the front loader arms. Anything bigger than that, you're into the T8 series. But it's a good mid-sized tractor. The price is right. So we'll trade our 2 New Hollands in and get a big New Holland. And there we go. So voila, done mowing. And so we'll find out how many bales we have here. And we're also going to see if our mod worked for the grass collection. The other thing that I would like to get is a larger... a larger what? What do I want that's larger? A larger windrower. So that we don't have to make quite so many trips, because it takes a long time to use that little windrower. So like the next size up probably, or even the biggest one. I don't know, we'll see. The big one's expensive, but if I have that big tractor, I should be able to pull it. Though that big one really requires a big... Even though the horsepower requirement's lower, it actually requires a pretty large tractor to run properly, so... It's looking pretty spotless, actually.
No.
So as you know, one of the things that's, farm sim, or very farm simish, is that, you're always upgrading equipment, and that is one of the things that makes this game fun. You're always looking to ways to buy new equipment and save up and get bigger and better. Whoops.
I love taco cheeks.
Taco cheeks?
Mm-hmm.
Who has taco cheeks?
Me.
You have taco cheeks? Great, that is not what I wanted to do.
I'm eating it.
Oh, you're eating taco cheese?
Mm-hmm.
I get it. On your salad?
No.
Where's Violet?
No.
What's she doing?
Eating.
She better not be making a mess. Violet. Okay. Hang on a second. I'm going to shift positions here. All right, so we are moving into position. Like a rhinestone cowboy. That's the only line I know from the song. Sorry. Oops. Hang on, I gotta fix my mic. I was busy driving and then trying to fix the mic and at the same time, and obviously the results were less than pretty. This is a lot of grass. I think I'm hoping we get at least 8 bales. One would think on a field this size we would get at least 8 bales out of it, but we might not. It might be less. I don't know. We shall see. Ah. I think I'm just going to go straight across here. Yeah, even here, just windrowing, I'm losing steam. It's like the Alps map. You have to windrow on these mondo ginormous hills, and it never goes well. But we did it for a while. When I first started my server, it was all the CS7 guys were on there playing. I think I'm the only one of those guys that still plays, though. Jared still gets on. I've been trying to get Mr. Mean to play, but he won't. I have a feeling even if I bought him the game, he wouldn't play it. He'd probably be like, nah, it's not my thing. Because I asked him one time, like, will you play? And he's like, nah, my parents are farmers. I'm sick of that. So, oh well. I try to get my World of Tanks friends involved. Some do, but most don't. I've been a bad tanker lately. I've just been too tired to be competitive. So I play a little bit. I probably am going to play tomorrow, Sunday. But I just haven't been on much. You know, I've been doing my reviews. I just did a Replay Fever, but I just haven't been in the mood. What's up, Cha?
I can't resist loving you. You asked me.
I can't stop loving you.
When you asked me, I just
Blah, 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 blah. Is Ryan still awake?
No,
He went to bed?
I don't know.
You don't know. I don't know. So Ryan broke his Wii U controller. I don't know if he broke it or if it's short. Somehow it's shorted out. Now he's broken the screen twice on that thing. It's one of those, I don't know if you guys have seen the Wii U, but it has like almost like a Game Boy controller for the controller. The first time he dropped something on it.
No, he was walking. He set his gamepad down.
Yeah, he left the room. He set the gamepad down and left the room, and then the gamepad slid off his bed
And then hit Mark's metal back.
and landed on Mark's his camping backpack. And of course, those have a metal frame, and so it broke the screen.
And then Ryan said he broke the screen on anger.
So he tried to fix it himself, and in doing so, he broke the screen power connector. And he tried really hard. I felt bad for him that it broke because he really, really was careful. But when he was pulling it apart, the cable had a little too much tension, and it snapped. It was like one of those stupid little pressure push-down things. You push it down, and it snaps the cable into place, and it didn't pop up, and it broke that.
But he fixed it.
So he has to stuff toilet paper in there or whatever, paper towel, or whatever he was using. I think probably toilet paper.
It was foam.
Was it foam? He put foam in there to push that connector into place, and it holds it in. It actually worked for several months. But then he lost his temper because he was having a lag issue, and I guess those controllers are known or notorious for having like lag issues for people that play like Super Smash Brothers and some of these other games. The players are always complaining online because it seems like there's a pretty big issue with lag. You press a button and nothing happens, and then a couple seconds later the character does what you tell it to do, and that makes it really hard to play a fighting game, especially online when you're trying to be competitive. And Ryan's pretty good at those games, and
This character is wood.
he just got frustrated. And so one time he actually won the match, but he thought he lost it, and he bonked his head against the controller and broke the screen again. And of course, they're $30 every time you break them. You have to get another one. So he was like, well, oh well. And so he was, still able to play the system because the controller still worked. But Then what happened is now the controller, all of a sudden the controller just stopped working. He didn't do anything to it for that. But the blue light comes on and then goes back off again. And we've done a lot of research online and nobody can really help us troubleshoot it ourselves. So he's going to have to send it into Nintendo to get it repaired. But the suck thing about the whole situation is he had... I'm getting to that, Evelyn. Thank you. He had put a parental control on it so the kids couldn't get on there. And... and so, once he couldn't turn the controller on anymore, he can't get onto the GameCube to play, or the Wii to play. So, he's skunked now. He has it. And so anyway, he finally got his friend to come over. His friend also has a Wii U, and the guy was gracious enough to bring it over so Ryan could sync it up and get on there and actually enter his password in and change it so that it didn't have a parental lock. So that he can now use his game. Yeah, Anthony, his friend Anthony. But the funny thing is, man, they designed the game system like that, and it just, to me, it's like, could you have not thought of any other way for somebody to be able to get onto a system aside from, like, what happens if you lose your controller, or like this, where it breaks? They didn't do a good job thinking out what the repercussions would be if a player had a problem with their controller and never could use their $300 video game system again. That just, without spending $100 for repair, it's just, it's downright piracy almost, like holding people over a barrel. I don't like that kind of stuff when companies do that. So I felt bad for Ryan. But he did break it by bonking it on his head, so I guess in some ways he kind of deserved what he got. But, you know, I kept telling him, I'm like, don't be rough with that, you know, and he'd be like, he'd lose a match and like toss it onto the bed or toss it onto the desk, and it wasn't like he was throwing it, but he'd just be like, "Arr!" and like toss it. And I'm like, dude, you're going to break that thing, and it's, you know, you're not going to want to pay $100 to get it fixed. I'm not going to break it. So, sure enough. So now he's going to have to send it in, but at least he can use it in the meanwhile. You know, for me, and you guys have seen the worst of me with World of Tanks, you know, when things don't go right, how crabby I get. And those are, sometimes you can just hear the smoke coming out of my ears. When I get that feeling, that's when I quit. I've learned over the years that if I am not having a good time and I'm getting angry and it's making me want to yell, that's a good time to put the game down. It's time to go on and play the farm sim or just do something different. So, you know, over years I used to do that. I used to get all hot-headed. I mean, we're talking back in the Nintendo days. You know how many Nintendo controllers I went through? I'd beat the heck out of my Nintendo controllers. I'd throw them, I'd smash them, I'd yell. I never broke a television. Back then you had the tube TVs, so you could throw stuff at them and they wouldn't break. Huh?
You broke a television.
I never broke a TV. What are you talking about?
You have. You Violet was the ones that broke the television.
I never broke a television. What the heck are you talking about, Evelyn? No, Violet broke the television with a broom handle. That's a little different than me breaking the television.
Yeah, and you broke one.
Yeah, and I broke one?
Yeah.
Which one did I break?
You broke the second.
No.
And then after you got this?
Nope.
No. Yeah.
No, Sass has the second one. It still runs. It's not broken. Uncle Mickey gave us this TV, and we gave Sass the other one.
But you broke one.
No, there's only been one that's been broken, and that was Violet by putting the broom handle through it.
And then we got a new one, and someone else broke it.
Wasn't me.
No, the other one Seth broke.
Oh, Seth broke it. That's right.
No, you broke it.
Seth broke my monitor. Is that what you're talking about? I had my computer monitor that this one here replaced.
No, John was the one that threw it in the cup. John.
Who's on first? Okay, so John broke this monitor, not the one I'm using right now. I bought a new one. I don't know if you guys remember, a couple months back I bought a new monitor. I got an AOC from Best Buy, and my requirement was, because I play on a tray table, like when I sit down here, I'm in the living room, I just have a little tray table, so I have to have a little keyboard and a little mouse, well, a normal mouse, but and then the monitor has to have a little base. It can't be a big fat base like most larger monitors have. So I found this really nice AOC monitor at Best Buy that the stand is literally like 9 or 10 inches by 5 inches. It's a really small stand, and the monitor is still very stable. It doesn't rock around, and I just love this monitor. It's got a flat screen instead of gloss, but it still looks like a gloss screen, like the picture quality, glossy, like shiny, like the Mac. it's just a really nice monitor. It's not very, a lot of times the monitors that don't have the gloss screens are pretty gray looking overall, but this monitor has a nice mixture of colors, and it's a great monitor. I think it was only like, I got it on sale. It was only, I want to say 120 maybe, or $130. It was a really good deal. And they don't make these anymore. They switched to a different style that has a bigger base, so I'm glad I got it when I did. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with AOC, so I don't know how long it'll last, but it seems like they get pretty good reviews on Newegg. So, what's up, Pants? No, we're not doing... It's too late for you guys to be doing computer games. Only me. Hey, Violet, if you're going to fuss, it's going to be bedtime, honey. Get yourself under control, please. You have 2 seconds to stop fussing. 1. Thank you. So we, like I said, we're going to be going to Texas. That'll be fun. This video probably will be released. What I'm going to do is I'm going to upload as many as I can over the next couple days if I have time. The problem is I'm just running out of time. I'm just going to upload a whole bunch of videos to YouTube, but I'm not going to publish them. They're going to sit up there. And then with my phone, I'll publish one every day so that we'll have a continuous stream of video, an uninterrupted signal as we're gone, traveling. You won't even know that we're gone. We're just going to be traveling, but you'll see the videos every day. Right now, I just finished a replay fever for World of Tanks. Tomorrow, I'm going to be recording reviews, hopefully, for the Matilda BP and the Matilda 4. Maybe also the Excelsior. We'll see how far I get. I'm trying to get through Tier 5. And then, these videos, I've still got 3 or 4 of these that I haven't posted yet, so you'll see those first. Obviously, we're talking 2020. You're probably seeing this a week after the gold came out. Very excited. The gold. I did buy the gold expansion pack for the farming simulator. It is not available yet to download. I kept checking. I have the link. And you go there and it says it will be released on the 29th. I'm like, rats. I kept hoping if I got it early, maybe I could get early access, but nope. It's the 29th or nothing. And unfortunately, like I said, I'm going to be out of town on the 29th, so too bad for me. Too bad. Oh well. Alright, I'm going to keep rowing, guys. We'll see you in a little bit.